JJ the CPA here, and listen, I'm going to teach you how to do your own pedicure, how to do your own filling, cut your own hair, make some lasagna, okay? How to fix the dryer, and something else that none of us have done before, but we're going to figure it out. What am I talking about? So right now we're talking PPP money needs, okay? I've been making that an equivalent of houses on fire, okay? So we're going to figure out how to do these things, okay? And if you have a professional that you can go to, then go to them. If you have some software and you like it, go do it, okay? Not everybody has that, okay? So I'm helping those that need the help, that are in dire straits. The house is on fire. The firefighters are all out doing other things. They can't help them. There's no one else there, okay? So I'm helping that person figure that out. So got a couple of videos. Go to the PPP self-employment playlist, because there I talk about how to prepare Schedule C. What? Oh my gosh, what did you just do? I'm helping people put fires out at their house, son. Let's go, right? All right, you know who I'm talking about. All right, now listen. What we're going to walk through is some expenses. And why are we going to do that? Well, because when you're talking about working up a P&L, and you're talking about doing a profit and loss, okay? Well, we know what our income is. We know what our expenses are. Why we got to figure this out? Because we're trying to figure out what the net profit is, okay? We want to do at least a halfway decent job, right? We don't want to just do our nails and not get rid of the cuticles where we could. Maybe we want to trim the ends before we put the nail polish on, right? I mean, we could do something to make sure that they look halfway decent. So here's what we're looking at. Okay, if you go to jjthecpahelp.com, it's not a scam. There's no email address that you have to put in. I'm not selling you anything. And if you'll go to that, okay, what you're looking for is this sample profit and loss right here in the middle. So in the sample profit and loss I put together, it just is to help my clients that when they need to put together their side hustle info, simple, you know, just they got a little bit of income, they got some expense, we need to report it. This is where this came from. So you ready? We're going to walk through it. I'm going to be very sarcastic. We're going to have some fun. And part of the reason I like being sarcastic is that it will help. It'll help loosen up those that right now are freaking out because they're getting ready to drill their own teeth. Okay? All right. Gross income. What is that for your business? Okay? Does it include what Aunt Millie sent you for your birthday, that $10 check? No. Okay. What about, someone gave you some cash as a tip? Yes. What is it that you do for your side hustle? What do you do again? Well, I do this, this, and that. Okay. Whatever you got paid to do this, this, and that, that's what's going on that line item. Okay. It's not, well, I got a $50 rebate. Does that count? I got a $45 credit at the hotel that one time. Does that count? Like, we're not doing that right now. Okay. What's your gross income? All right. Now, right now, there's for sure someone freaking out, and it's probably because they need to have some excitement in their lives. And if this is the excitement in their lives, you're welcome. All right. So listen, and I just mean the people that just can't wait to leave a comment about going through all this and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So listen, we're talking about expenses, right? So I'm kind of giving you some examples here, but here's what the law is. You ready for this? Code section 162. Okay. For those of you that think you know anything about tax law, then why don't you tell me about code section 162? Ready? You got 5 seconds. No? Code section 162. Okay. There's 2 requirements for an expense, and guess what? It doesn't say you can't do this and you can't do that, and that isn't allowed, and the IRS doesn't allow that. Nowhere in there, nowhere in the code does it say IRS won't let you. Okay, IRS just interprets, number one. Number two, okay, the code in determining an expense doesn't say it ain't this. It says here's a business expense. You ready for this? Simple. Okay. Was it ordinary necessary for your business? And was your intent in that expense for business purposes. Yes, it's a business expense. Okay, so here's a couple of simple examples, right? Here, little pop quiz, right? Think through your head. Yes or no, answer it really quick. Is this a tax deduction? Pink ballet shoes, okay? The seat for your motorcycle, okay? Slippers, candy canes, let's see, magazines, okay? Yes, they're all a deduction, okay? Okay, if you're a chiropractor, you're probably not writing off pink ballet shoes, but if you're a dance studio, you are, okay? If you are a dentist, you're probably not writing off the seat for a motorcycle, but if you have a motorcycle business, you are, okay? See what I'm saying? I mean, all of those things fit into some kind of business, therefore it's deductible, right? So this isn't now an exercise to go through and how to make things deductible. This is an exercise to really boil down for you that's having to do a Schedule C so that you can get some PPP money on what you need to be putting on there. Because remember this, when you do the Schedule C and you hand that in for the PPP, okay, that's what you have to file with the IRS. Okay, so this is, you didn't have time to get to the tanning booth, but you got a hot date and you're trying to figure out how to put the self-tanner on, okay? So that's all we're trying to do here, okay? All right, so what's ordinary necessary? Okay, is it ordinary necessary for a chiropractor to need pink ballet shoes? No, okay, see, didn't make it, all right? What was the intent? Okay, first of all, your intent should be for business, period. Like, it should just always be, what was your intent of this? For business purpose. It was, okay? So did you go buy that computer because you're a consultant? Well, I mean, kinda. I mean, I do check the email and watch Apple TV on it. And okay, you bought it for the business, right? I mean, do you need it for the business? Yes. Do you also use it for personal use for on that? This little minor example that just, somebody's mind is just blown right now, just FYI. You're writing it off. Am I trying to be a scam? And, oh, you're trying to get people to write off their iPads. And do you use it in your business? And I don't mean like once a year for 3 seconds. Do you use it? Yes, then it's a write-off. Let's move along. Okay? So when we're talking about what your intent is, did you buy it for the business? Yes. Did you buy it going, I bought a really cool camera and I'm going to write it off in my chiropractic business because I had to take a picture to put on my website. Okay, if you're having to, first of all, say it like that and look down and talk goofy and be all sly, right? It's not a tax deduction. If you're hurrying and texting somebody to say, I just found a tax deduction, it's probably not a tax deduction because tax deductions means you're spending money to make money. No one gets excited about that. You're not like, dude, look at this. I got a pen. You believe this? I'm going to be able to write this pen off. Oh my gosh. Okay. A tax deduction is, I need some pens. I only need a couple of them. Don't buy 100 of them. All right. So we're going to buzz through these. Advertising, sponsorship. Did you give money to somebody that sponsored your business? Okay. Was it, your cousin Jeffrey? Okay. That you gave $15 and it went on the side outside the game? Then put it down. Okay. Did you buy assets for the business? Okay. I'm not getting into a long discussion on this because you either did or you didn't. Okay. You either bought the computer, the equipment, the furniture. No, it doesn't count for the theater room that you bought the extra stereo. It's not AV equipment. Okay. On the auto, let me just tell you this right now. If you're doing a side hustle, okay, you don't have this. Okay. You're going to do mileage. Okay. That's what you're doing. You're not going to try and write off your vehicle on a business where you're grossing $10, $15, $20, $30, $45,000. Now, if you're on your way up, okay, then you can. And what you're going to write off is the mileage rate. You're going to take your miles times the mileage rate, and that is going to be your deduction. And you're already saying, Hey, JJ, what's the mileage rate? Let me show you a little secret, okay? You put in 2019 mileage rate, okay? 58 cents. See how easy that is? The only reason I'm showing you that is you don't have to text anybody. You don't have to ask on Facebook. You don't have to text your accountant at 1:30 in the morning and say, hey, real quick, actually it's 1:49 a.m. Hey, real quick, you Google it. There it is. It's 58 cents a mile, okay? What are you going to do? You're going to take 58 cents a mile and put it on there. Whoa, you can't do that, JJ. Listen, we're not preparing tax return. We're preparing the Schedule C to give to the bank to get a PPP. You'll figure out how to make sure that you've got the other forms to be able to back up to put on that line 9 where you put car and truck expenses. But what you're going to do is take your miles and no, it doesn't count going to the bank to make a deposit. Okay? All right. Bank charges. Do you have a separate bank account for your business? Yes. Then you're going to have some bank charges. If you don't, it doesn't count. Cleaning expense. Do you have a separate location that you have someone come and clean? Yes. Then you include it. No, it doesn't include your housekeeper. Credit card fees. No, this is not the $50 annual fee that you pay unless that's a credit card you only use for business. This would be then, though, you have a Square account, right? Someone pays you $50, Square takes their money. Those are the fees. You want to make sure you deduct the fees, okay? Dues and subscriptions, okay? This is not dues to fishing, etc., okay? Unless you're a fishing guide person, right? I mean, see what I'm saying? It's dues and subscriptions related to it, okay? Do you buy magazines and get to write it off? Well, do you have a waiting room and do you buy those magazines and they go in there? Yes. Do you happen to look at them before they go to the waiting room? Yes. Okay, it's a business expense. Let's move along. Dues, okay? Is it dues to your fraternity? Yes. Well, it's not going to be a write-off because it's not related to your business. Well, but I like to get together with my buddies and I got a few clients. Why can't I write that dues off? If you're having to say all that, it's not a deduction, okay? You're like, well, how come and how that's not fair? That's clear sign, not a deduction, okay? For insurances here, is it your homeowner's insurance? No. Is it your life insurance? No. Disability insurance? No. Okay? It's liability, malpractice, auto if you own it, the car and the business. And if you're listening to me and you're doing a Schedule C and you're doing a side hustle, stop. You don't have a business vehicle. You're not writing off your auto insurance. Do you have health insurance for a worker? Interest expense. This would only be on a loan that you are using for business. Only on a credit card. You're only doing for business. Internet. If it's at your office, yes. If it's at your home, no. License, permits. Is it a fishing license? Well, are you a guided fisher person thingy, whatever those people are called? Yeah? Okay, well then you can write that off. But if you're a lawyer, you don't get to write off your fishing license. Check it out. Tickets, golf, you don't get to write off any of it. Anything related to entertainment, you don't get to write off. Business meals, okay? It's 50%. Get over it. Do you have the receipt? Yes, no. Do not sit here and try and figure out all the meals. You either had them or you didn't, okay? You either had them or you didn't. You're not going back and trying to figure out how Aunt Millie on her birthday is going to be a write-off. Outside services, okay? Did you pay $50 for someone to help you put together a report? Did you pay $500 to an IT person to come set you up? That's what the outside services is. No, it's not the neighbor kid that came and cleaned up the poop in the backyard for the dog, okay? That's not outside services. It's who's helping you with the business. Parking and tolls, okay? Did you go downtown and met a client? There's your parking. Did you go on a trip and you had to pay tolls? Okay, airport parking, downtown, okay, parking, all that. It has to be for business. Think about it. It has to be for business. Payroll, you got an employee? If you do, you're picking up those taxes and you got that. I'm being serious though. If you got payroll and payroll taxes, you should not be watching this video. You should not prepare the Schedule C based on the other video. You need professional help, okay? All right, postage, FedEx, UPS. You mean I can write off the postage to send out my bills? Well, if they're business bills, yes, okay? If you're sending something to a customer, you get to write it off, okay? If you're FedExing something to somebody that has nothing to do with your business, you don't get to write it off. Printing, you print business cards? Yes. You're printing some kind of letterhead? Yes. Okay. Printing fees for the wedding invitations? No. Okay. Professional fees. Okay. This doesn't include your counselor. Okay. Legal fees, if it's related to the business. Accounting fees, if it's related. Consulting fees, if it's related. And no, the person that you work out with on Friday, that's your personal trainer, is not a consultant. Okay? Rent expense, no, this isn't to yourself. If you're on a Schedule C, this rent is to somebody else. It's to somebody that owns it. Okay? It's not to your spouse. It's to somebody that owns whatever it is that you're renting. Okay? Repairs, okay? Okay, if you got a computer and it was repaired, building, you don't have this. Okay, you don't. If you're doing a Schedule C, listening to this video, you don't have a building repair. What might be a repair is that you rent a little spot, the window broke, and you had to repair that, right? You should know these things. Like, you should know. You're not making stuff up. You're not trying to figure out how that bill to the HAV that came and fixed your stuff at the house, but now you have a home office, so can I write it off? No, you can't. Okay. If you're trying to connect dots, it's not a tax deduction. Equipment repairs, okay? Think about it. What do you have that's equipment in your business that you're using that doesn't need to be repaired, okay? Retirement plans, not going to come into play for you on this. Security, that means not at the house. Office supplies, okay? Are you buying it for the house? Yes. Paper towels, is that a deduction? Well, did you take it to your office? Yes, then it's a deduction, okay? Cokes, Sprites, whatever. Telephone, office, fax, cell phone, okay? If you have these and you're a sole proprietor, you're writing them off. Office phone, no, it's not your telephone at the house, period, the end. It says in the law, the first line is not deductible, period, the end. Did you get a second line for your fax? Yes. At the home? Yes. Then write it off, okay? Cell phone, write it off, okay? It's de minimis. You can write it off. If you use it for personal, that's cool. You can still just write it off. You write off your kid's cell phone? Well, do they work for you? No. Well, then you can't write it off. Why'd you ask? Travel. Okay, well, we all went to a seminar last year, and I had to go, and you know, we like to take the family, and so we all loaded up and flew on out there. Now, can I write that all off? Well, you can write off your airfare if you really went to a seminar and you went to it. All right, you can write off your hotel, okay, but the kids' airfare, no. Okay, the hotel, well, if you paid it for yourself and the kids are staying there with you, you still get to write off the hotel. Okay, taxi cab, probably you had to get there. Someone fits in the back seat, doesn't matter, right? Use common sense here, right? Think of it this way. If you worked for somebody and they sent you on a business trip to a convention, to continuing ed, what would they pay for? That's what you get to deduct. Okay, what would they pay for? Promotional flowers, the gifts, things like that. There's not going to be that much of that for you. It's probably not going to be anything else. And then, what did I miss? Okay, so if you go out to horses and you clip their hooves or whatever, and you're buying horseshoe and metal and hammers and nails, then that'd probably be in your other. Okay, if you're a salon and you're buying, you know, hair product, that'd be in your other. The thing to know is this. I'm having fun, being sarcastic, probably because after 27 years I have heard it all. What it comes down to is you're trying to find expenses to go on this Schedule C here. Why? So that you can arrive at a line 31. Why? So that you can get your PPP. Why? Well, I don't know. I guess you need the money, right? So what's the money that you brought in for the business? Go see the other video on how to prepare Schedule C. What are your expenses? It's real simple. Code section 162. What did you spend for your business? Okay. If you're stretching it, it's not a deduction. Okay. If you're having to do a smirk, it's not a deduction. If you're having to say, hey, do you think, it's not a deduction. You would not say to anybody, hey, do you think I could write off this highlighter? You think I'll write off this highlighter? You wouldn't be like, I'm going to write off this highlighter, right? You wouldn't be like, hey, go get 100 of those highlighters. We can write them off. This is a business deduction. You're like, I need some highlighters. Get like 4 or 5. No one's excited. Not going to put it on Facebook that I went and bought some highlighters and I get to write them off, right? I'm giving you some funny examples to help you boil it down because people's minds cook and bake because they're doing something related to this, and I don't want to do anything wrong. How do you do anything wrong if you have a receipt and it's related to your business? How do you do it wrong? Well, I don't want to go to jail. Okay, you know how you're going to jail? Because you're a pimp. okay? Because you're slinging crack and you're selling stuff that's illegal, okay? That's how you go to jail. You know how else you go to jail? You don't report your income. That's how you go to jail. You don't report your income. You put some cash in your pocket, you don't report it, you go to jail. You know who doesn't go to jail? Okay? People that report their income and then take expenses. Okay? Now don't take this statement the wrong way, but when you take an expense on a tax return, the worst that happens, assuming you're not a scam artist piece of crap trying to take a deduction that you don't deserve because you're a scam artist, okay? The worst that happens if you take a deduction and you're just a good God-fearing American trying to do your best, do your taxes, pay your fair share, no more, no less, in the event of audit, is there's an adjustment. There's an adjustment. And they go, you know what? You're not going to be able to deduct that. Oh, shoot, I thought I could. No. Now, first of all, you should be able to deduct it. If you're putting it on here and you went through this and you went through all the sarcasm that I just did, you should be able to deduct it because you should have had enough tests there to know that it's deductible. You got to have a receipt to deduct it. It's got to be related to your business. You're done. But the worst thing that happens is they make an adjustment. You owe some tax, maybe some penalties and interest. People don't go to jail because on their Schedule C, they took a deduction that later learned, they're like, oh crap, I didn't know I couldn't write that off. Okay? It's really hard to get in trouble because you should just know better. I mean, a lot of this stuff's just right up here. It's common sense. Okay? Now, if you wrote off an expense that you never bought, you didn't pay for, it's totally fraudulent, yeah, you're going to go to jail, right? But when I hear the discussion of, well, you know, if I'm going to jail, I guess you'll have to go with me there, JJ. Well, my clients don't say that because we follow the law, we got receipts, we're taking the deduction. Okay? So I'm trying to relieve you. Okay? Now, if you're still concerned and you're still, you know, you're feeling, I don't know, then don't do it. Okay? Then go get the EIDL, go get the unemployment. But if you're sitting on this, okay, and you got a net 50K, grow a pair, pull up your bootstraps, okay, and like just get it done and get it to the PPP. Stop being dramatic. Whatever you do here, yes, you're going to file with the IRS. You're not going to jail. You didn't do anything wrong. You're not going to get in trouble. No one's coming to your house. You know how somebody comes to your house? You know how you get in trouble? You fill this out, and then when you go to file your return, you do something different. Now, I already know there's going to be comments like, well, you know, you got to really kind of weigh out, you know, the deductions versus the PPP money. Obviously. This is really for the person that's like, man, I got a business. I got some money coming in. I need to do this freaking form. What is it? Okay? You watch both my videos, you work through it, in an hour you should be done. Because if you're searching more than that, than the hour, these are either you're stepping over dollars to find pennies in terms of deductions, or you're inventing things to be deductible, meaning you spent the money on it and now you're trying to find a way to make it deductible. Okay? So this other video that you'll see in that playlist, you know, bottom line is that in this environment right now, okay, yeah, you're taking the deductions that are related to your business. So make a decision, right? Either boom or get off the pot, right? So I've been doing this for 27 years. I've done classes on this, and this sarcasm works with the person that needs the reassurance, right? The reassurance. All right, hey, you got PPP self-employment playlist. I'm walking through the stuff, help you get your PPP money. For those of you that can use software and you can get comfortable, then do that. Those of you that have a professional, do that. If you're watching this after 2020, I probably left it up But you will not want to use this video or the videos where I talk about preparing the Schedule C, because you're just going to need to hire somebody. You'll have the time to hire them. You won't have a house on fire that you're trying to put out by hurrying and prepping up a Schedule C. Okay? When we're all out and about, we're going to be able to go to the salon. We're going to be able to go to the Italian restaurant. We're going to be able to have that person come and take care of things, right? Right now, we're all locked down. We need to get stuff to PPP. We need to get stuff to the banks on the PPP. That's what this whole video is about. All right. I doubt anybody made it all to here. There's probably like 2 people that made it all the way to here. And those that did, I love you. You know why? Because you get it. You're wanting to do things right. You're trying to get that Schedule C. You're trying to get you some PPP money. And then it was worth it to do all this for you to walk through it and go through all the examples. All right? And if the IRS is watching and listening, you know what they're going to say? That JJ, he's a really good guy because he walked through all those expenses and he was showing everybody, here's how you know if you can deduct it. Here's how you know you can't. And he threw a little sarcasm in there to make sure everybody knows, hey, take a deep breath. Is it deductible or is it not? Okay? Never had an audit adjustment in my entire career. I've never prepared a return that I've had an audit adjustment on. Ever. Okay? Never had a client get in trouble. Never had a client go to jail. Never had an adjustment. JJ the CPA here. Love it if you'd subscribe. All right. Hey, you know what? It's late. Thanks for staying up with me because it's like after 2 a.m. right now. Okay. So I need to probably take a lesson. I need to watch some YouTube videos on how to get through a YouTube video quicker. But guess what? This is what you got. This is free. That's what you got. All right. Just remember this. Money never sleeps, pal.